as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
Delighted to welcome Lotta to the programme, particularly as I'm feeling a little under the weather, and apparently all these oils and this little machine here is ideal to treat not just a cold but many other things. Lotta, hello.
Hello, how are you?
No,
Happy
very
New
well,
Year.
thank you very much. Happy New Year to you. I believe you yourself got involved in these oils and what you're going to explain today because you weren't very well and this led you down this path.
Exactly. I had a very stressful life in London for many years, working in the art world, and got very, very stressed, and actually sort of had a more or less a breakdown. And then my mother died as well on top of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I then kind of, well, to make a long story short, I got married and went to Germany, and which didn't work out, and went through divorce, and then everything sort of escalated again. And so I looked into alternative medicine, basically, and through doing various courses on healing diets. I was very interested in diet, particularly because I had a problem with IBS.
What's IBS?
Irritable bowel syndrome, yeah, which affects your gut, basically. And then I came across these essential oils, which are amazing, which are actually the world's first medicine, the first medicine that ever existed in 5,000 years ago. They were used in Egypt for embalming, and I mean they're mentioned in the Bible 188 times. So yes,
it's amazing how we seem in our advancement, how we seem to really lost some of the basics.
Yes.
Essential oils,
Yes.
kind of says it all. No?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that the medical industry obviously uses plants, because these are distilled from plants, from the roots or the bark or the flowers, and the medical industry obviously take from these plants as well. But then they add synthetic elements.
Otherwise they couldn't charge us, could they?
Exactly. Well, and that's what creates the side effects. And of course, these have no side effects. They're 100% natural.
So what do you do with these oils? Do you drink them? Do you put them on your skin?
You can do various things. You can put them directly topically on your skin. They are known to go into your cells in seconds, into your blood. You can take them, ingest them. You can put them in. Actually, they're very tasty. If you do lemon or peppermint, oregano, you can put them in a little bit of water, or mix in a fruit juice. And they kind of cure you from within, as it were.
So how would you know which one to take? For example, you've put this one on the table because I've got this cold, and you said sniff this. So what's particular about this one?
This is very funny. It's called Thieves, and this company, Young Living, who produces these 100% natural oils, have taken it from. There was a story during the plague in France, where the thieves who were robbing from the corpses, they're robbing teeth, the gold teeth and things like that. They protect themselves with this blend of oils, which is basically rosemary, cinnamon, lemon, and eucalyptus. And there's a story the end of the story goes that they were actually let off because they gave their recipe to the authorities because it was so powerful.
It's so powerful.
So
I'm going to be cured now.
Yeah, it kills microbes in the air. So it's antimicrobial, antiviral. So fantastic for what you're having, a flu.
This little machine here, you also said, let me set this up next to you because it's just going to help you, even though it's like not directly in my face.
Okay.
Because this goes into the air. What's the idea about having one of these?
It creates vapor. So the oil is transmitted.
So you
very
put
quickly.
this oil in there.
In there, exactly. A few drops, then a bit of distilled water, and basically the quickest way, because our senses, the smell, it's the olfactory system. It enter the system very, very quickly through the blood-brain barrier, so they can go into your brain. And so there's some oils which you can use for studying, when you need to concentrate, and they really help you concentrate. They just fill the whole environment around you, basically.
So here you've got lots of different ones. What is the setup there?
Okay, so like the base ones would be lavender, bless you, lemon and peppermint. You might find that you've taken this and it starts to
clear out the system.
Yeah, exactly, and then you start sneezing, etc. So lavender is called the Swiss knives of all essential oils, because you can use it for more or less 1,000 different things. And it's the one oil that you can use together with other oils, and it enhances the effect of the other oil. So if I use this with lemon is supposedly anti-cancerous. It also helps you take 1 drop a day in a glass of water, and it cleans out your intestines, and it protects you from bacteria, basically. So this, if I use the two together, it would enhance the effect of the lemon, for instance. All these oils you can also put topically.
So, Lotta, you're explaining how you put these things together. Do you have a recipe book? I mean, do you know how? Do people come to see you and get advice? How does this work?
I'm studying to be a practitioner, which is an essential oil practitioner, which includes aromatherapy. So I'm doing aromatherapy at the moment. And then you have to study part of the chemical constituents behind them and how to mix them, basically, because some obviously don't go together, and you have to know what specific ailment that person that you're talking to is, or trying to cure, is suffering from.
So when you say that you use some of them you use topically, does it mean you have to cover your whole body, or you're just putting little dabs in like certain specific areas?
Yeah, it's mainly for specific areas. So say it could be the abdomen, you would just rub your abdomen with the oil, or it could be your chest area for if you have a cough, infection or something. It could be a headache, you just put it here. Yeah,
that's very cool. I mean, and it's not invasive, so it's anything you can do without doing something invasive. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But according to you, this is tried and tested, and we've got millenniums actually of history of how oils and smells really can be very, very powerful.
Very powerful.
You're mixing here smells, scents, combinations, which is another type of artwork in itself. Very different from your history you briefly mentioned before, that you do come from that art world.
Yes.
You mentioned it was very stressful. What was actually your role in London in the art world? Because it's a very high moving...
It was, yeah. And this was in the 90s, in the mid-90s I started, which was, there was a craze in London. I don't know if you've heard of the YBAs. It was the Young British Artists, and they became famous all over the world, started by Damien Hirst with the Pharmacy. I don't know if he had a restaurant as well called the Pharmacy in London. And it was all the artists that came out of Goldsmith College in London. And anyway, I set up a gallery in 1996, and I had been an artist. I'd studied as an artist, and then I did art history at Sotheby's as well. And then it sort of went mad. I just started taking on 1 or 2, 3, 4. Suddenly it was just 12 artists, and I did loads of exhibitions, and we ran an experimental space next door. So we were quite different. And it was run by somebody called Andrew Renton, who was one of the professors at Goldsmith. And so we had loads of interesting people.
You've had an exciting life. I mean, there's a lot of challenges that obviously at an early age you set yourself.
Yes, I did. And also to be on that level, you have to keep, constantly moving. So I did loads of art fairs. I think the first year I did 7 art fairs, international. So Art Basel, Miami, Chicago, New York, Armory in New York, Cologne, London, Madrid, so all over, yeah.
You're from Gothenburg in Sweden originally?
Yes, I'm from Gothenburg.
When did you first leave? What took you away from
I came here when I was 8 with my parents. They moved here to escape the Swedish taxes in the 70s, basically. As you know, people were paying 75–80% in tax.
Craziness.
And, people came out here. And and it was like a Swedish community that settled in Guadalmina, and
I
I was the only child, and with all these...
It's changed a lot now.
Yeah,
it's changed a lot now, But back then, yes, it was very much, you had to speak Spanish to survive.
Exactly.
So obviously your Spanish is fluent.
Yeah, my Spanish is fluent, yeah. And then there were no supermarkets, you know, there was just little shops and very different, but lovely to, you know, to come from Sweden that was so advanced to here, which was...
Yes, I was also here in those years and I loved it as well. And when we first got our first Super Soul market in Marbella, it was like, oh my God,
I know,
it was like
civilization.
Civilization. Then we got our first sewer in English and
Yeah.
it began to come to what we have today, which is an amazing mix of 137 nationalities
Unbelievable.
that are registered on our town census.
And I heard something that there's 15,000 in Marbella, is that right? Swedish, 50,000 Swedes.
Swedes,
in
yes.
Marbella, I
There are a
think.
lot of you.
Yeah, there are too many.
Well, I wouldn't say there's too many, but it's nice to see. And also, you're a very integrated community.
Yes, we are.
So it's like you do learn to speak the language and
Yeah.
you do get very much more involved with the local activities on the Spanish way of life than perhaps an English person would.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I maybe noticed.
My parents made a point of that in the 70s when they came down. They started immediately with Spanish lessons, you know. I think, but the people around them at that time were not so keen, you know, because they were all living in a Swedish community. So, but they did, you know. No, I was very proud of my parents because they wanted to be integrated. So.
That's exactly very proud of them. Well, you're now obviously about to be able to diagnose or prescribe, as one
Yes.
would say, with the oils. Do we just give you a call and to get these oils, or have you actually started?
Yes, no, I'm selling the oils, and as I said, at the moment I'm learning how to blend them as well. So you could come to me for a specific ailment, and I do a massage, whether it's a massage, just a consultation, and I blend you an oil. And I also do something called raindrop technique, which I'm doing already. Which raindrop refers to the way you put the oils on the back. You drop them onto the back, and it works along the spinal cord. And it's all the kind of impulses, electrical impulses that comes from the spinal cord, and can help you eliminate inflammations along the spinal cord. You know, there's viruses that get locked into the spinal cord. And yes, can help a lot of ailments. So
Sounds very interesting, and I have to say, just in the time we've been talking, after sniffing, I think it was the Thieves.
yeah, this one.
This one, the Thieves, I do actually feel clearer in my head. I feel my eyes are more open, and it's just been a few minutes. He's got to blow my nose now, but no, I feel a difference.
Yeah, and also if you put it in a diffuser, you know, it's an easy way to have it in your environment, and you're cleaning your environment at the same time.
At the same time, so it's just highly recommended to have one of these, put it in the house, and on it for any reason.
And
Perfect.
Thieves also has a range of products for the home, so you can learn how to live without chemicals in the home.
Sounds like a plan. Looks like we're going to have to meet up again, Lotta, to
lovely.
know more. It's really lovely to see you once
Thank you.
more. Happy New Year.
Likewise.
And Lotta, for keeping us healthy. In a healthy way. That's what I like, in a healthy way.
Thank you.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
Hey, hey.
This next section is sponsored by Linear Director, tailor-made expat car insurance.
In an area like this one, in the heart of the Golden Mile, it can be very tempting if you want to go over there to cross the road, but there isn't really anywhere to cross here. Behind me there was an underground passageway, tunnel that went through, but if not, you'd have to go down to the traffic lights. One of the things you really can't do is just cross the road anywhere. In this section there isn't a separation between the road, but in some areas they have put separations, and they've even made them higher, and unfortunately this can leave you stuck in the middle of the road if you decide to cross over. They're there so you don't do that. A car going at the normal speed limit would be okay, but unfortunately people don't pay attention to the speed limits, and we have people here in their Ferraris or whatever doing 160, 170, 180, and if you're going to cross the road and they're doing those kind of speeds, they'll be on you before you even know it and realise literally what hit you. If you are walking, please make sure that when you cross the roads you do so safely, even if you have to take a few extra steps to get there.
This next section is sponsored by Linear Director, tailor-made expat car insurance.
Hey, hey.
Mañana a las 11 en el 107.6 FM. Estaré con un invitado de la comunidad internacional en el programa nuevamente Las Mañanas con Eva Villén. Espero que podáis sintonizar y conocer más de nuestra comunidad, porque son muchísimas oportunidades que ofrecen esas 137 nacionalidades, todos cohabitando juntos. Well, that's it for me for this evening. I hope you take care of yourselves, you will be nice to each other, and you have yourselves a lovely evening. We'll be back tomorrow with our last episode of the week, and of course you can check out all our programmes online, MARBELLANOWTV.com, where you can listen to the radio recordings and you can see the recordings of the TV show and obviously the columns from Euro Weekly News. Bye for now.
Halfway twisted, you've been out of shape, and you feel